Hey, it's JP with Central Idaho Mountain Weather. It's September 26, 2023. We're going to have mostly sunny skies today. There's a couple of clouds that are going to be to the east, some high elevation cirrus clouds, but pretty much clear skies. Highs are going to be in the low 70s, maybe dipping into the 60s in the Sawtooth Valley. And the big story is going to be the wind for the next 2 days. So we're going to have gusts up to 45 miles per hour from the southwest in the mountains. It's going to be more like 25 to 30 down in the valley floor. And same story tomorrow. It's going to be a little less sunny. There's some clouds that we can poke through as a wave enters from that big low in Alaska, and that's going to dip down to the mid 60s and pretty much going to stay dry and cooling through the week. And we're going to get our next little hit of moisture on Saturday. So that actually looks like the totals are going to be getting pretty significant. We'll see if that actually pans out. This looks like similar story to last weekend. So let's dive into it. All right, so this is looking at the MBM models. So this is an ensemble of like basically every forecast out there. So it's kind of cool to look at because it gives you an average of all of the different things that are going to happen. So you're not going to see any like big spikes from one forecast model to another. It's just encompassing all of them. So this is for Haley. You can see these temperatures drop down as we get into the weekend. Going to be in the 50s this weekend and be pretty damp. This is kind of looks like a higher projection, but by Monday morning, we'll be seeing maybe zero point 0.6 inches of rain. That's a pretty good chunk of rain, and more so in the mountains. Today's cloud forecast, you can see those clouds kind of clear out and it just stays cloudy to the west of us. So pretty sunny day. And then tomorrow, some high elevation cirrus clouds kind of come through as another wave enters our area to the west. But even with that, like there's some periods where it's going to be pretty thin clouds. So I think it's still going to be a pretty nice day tomorrow as well. But the big topic is that we are going to have the jet stream pretty much over our head tomorrow. So this is looking at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet. You can see the jet stream is just right overhead here. So this usually forms where there's cold air above it and then warm air below it, and that can those two different air masses don't like to mix well, so it usually creates a lot of wind and weather on either side of that boundary. So that kind of comes over us today and tomorrow. It is going to be fairly dry though. All the moisture is going to be to the north of us, northwest. But the big story is pretty much the wind. So we'll drop down and look closer. 700 millibars. So this is about 10,000 feet. This is looking at more mountain level for us here. And you can see the sawtooths, the white clouds, the boulders. Kind of keep your eye on this area here. The winds pick up through the afternoon and then kind of die down again. And then tomorrow they pick up again, and you can see that blue shading down here. This is in knots, but it's fairly close to miles per hour. We're going to be seeing about 40 to 45 mile per hour winds in the mountains today and tomorrow. Looking at the lower level water vapor map, you can see really dry to the south of us here. Most of our moisture is coming in these waves that are getting ejected out of this big low pressure system up in the Gulf of Alaska. So that's just kind of sending in these bands of moisture towards us to the east. And we'll see a low kind of pop up here and start to drop down and across. And that's going to give us our weather this weekend. Got current satellite imagery. Show you pretty clear out there right now. A couple departing clouds to the east, but most of this cloud coverage is going to stay to the west and bring us nice weather. Slow load. Okay, looking at the HRRR model. So all that moisture again is going to stay to the left, west of us. You can see this kind of cool low, upper level low develop here. That's like a sweet little thing there. Off the coast of Washington, have that counterclockwise motion. But that's going to kind of just roll right over the top of us and not be a factor. So it doesn't look like we're going to get any moisture till the weekend when we have this big upper level low, big elongated trough sitting overhead, and that's going to push moisture up into our area. Okay, let's look at some totals for how much rain we're going to get. Put this in the motion. So you can see Saturday morning is when, and this is looking at the NWS blended models. So again, this is an ensemble of a bunch of different models. So when I'm looking at long range forecasting, I kind of like using this one because it uses all of them and gives you an average. Some people really like to be married to the GFS or the Euro. I kind of been adjusting to using this one more because it takes the average of all of them, and I like that better. More of a broad brush, especially when we're forecasting out many days ahead. So anyways, by Saturday evening, you can see the Sawtooth crest here is going to be picking up almost a ½ inch of water, and we're going to be a little bit drier in the Wood River Valley, maybe 1/10 of an inch. But Sunday looks like it really kind of starts to ramp up. You can see more color add to the imagery. The same area in the Sawtooth is going to be about over 1 inch of water. Over in the White Clouds, looking like 1 inch. And then the Pioneers also looking like they're going to be in the inch mark. And in the Valley, we're looking like more of a ½ inch. So still good, pretty good hit of water. The Lost and the Lemhis are going to be the winners again, picking up not a huge amount of snow this time of year, but like this is going to be definitely another high elevation snow line. I think it looks like it's a little bit lower. They're calling for like maybe 7,000. I'm gonna wait a few days till those numbers could kind of get in better agreement. But it's looking like the valleys, we're going to see rain and then snow again up in the mountains. So probably not the best weekend to go do any climbing, there's any alpine climbing, unless you like to battle stormy conditions. That's all I got for you. We'll check in a few days when these models get in even better agreement.